Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm going to use this tutorial to try and teach you some basics of PROCREATE. So the first thing you're going to want to do is open up that PROCREATE app and go to the plus sign in the top right hand corner and pick a new canvas size. You can either customize it or pick a pre-made one. And then you're going to want to go in, pick a color that you want to start drawing with. So since I'm drawing an orange, I'm going to pick a nice orange shade, or at least try to. I'm a little indecisive when it comes to color. After I pick my color, I'm going to want to go in with a brush head. So there's a lot of different options here and you can play around with them. I'm just going in with the regular technical pen, which is a pretty good basic. And then if you hold down your pen, or you can also do this with your finger, an unperfect shape will become perfect, and then you can adjust it even further with the little prongs surrounding that shape, the blue dots and the green twisty thing. And then up here in the layer section, you can click on that layer and hit alpha lock, which means that you're not going to be able to go outside of that shape. So it provides a great tool if you want to shade within that orange area. So I started with a little bit of a lighter orange, and I'm trying to create a highlight here, which can be a little difficult because you obviously don't want it to be too stark, and then you try and blend the two. So as you can see, it takes me a minute to get it right. But that alpha lock tool is a really great one that I just implemented into my artwork. So again, it's in the layers section. You drop it down, you click the layer you want, and you pick alpha lock. And at any time you can unclick that alpha lock and get it back to regular, so you can draw obviously over and outside of that orange shaded area. So I pretty much created that highlight how I wanted it, and then I'm going to go back to my, just kidding, I'm still shading. So I'm going to go back up to my technical pen here. I'm going to try and pick a different shade, it looks like. Oh yes, I'm going to try and add some texture to this. So I started out with the technical pen, and it ended up being a little bit too small and just like you couldn't really see, and I wanted a little bit more drama. So I went in with the ink bleed, which is a really cool textured pen here. And I'm just trying to, you know, make it a little fun, a little abstract, add some texture to that skin of the orange. So that's what I'm doing, going in, adding that on either side. And I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to go add another layer. So here, adding a layer is really important because layering in PROCREATE really creates, allows you to do more with the app. So I'm going to add a layer, and I'm going to go in and choose a green shade to try and go in with some leaves. And this is a lot easier than trying to perfectly not draw, like, you know, have the green not touch the orange. Instead, just add another layer and put that behind the orange, so that there's no chance that, because I want the green behind the orange anyways. So I'm going to try and make a stem here. I picked a nice kind of bluish tone because blue and orange are complementary colors. It's green, but it's also a little bit teal, which I thought was fun. As you can tell, this is a little bit more abstract. So I made a few mistakes. I'm trying to get this squirrely cue correct. And as you can see down in the left-hand corner next to the thing that adjusts the size and shape of your pen, there's an undo button. I use that a lot. So if you see, that's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to go in, finish up that leaf. And then go in with a bit of a darker shade, add another layer so that that leaf is even behind the other leaf and vine. And then I'm going to drag and drop that color directly into that closed shape. So any closed shape you can drag and drop a color into. If there's any gap within the outline at all, it will fill the entire page. So you have to be really sure that you're drawing a completed shape there. I'm going to add some veins to my leaf here with that dark shade. I put the alpha lock on so it makes it a little bit easier, so I'm, you know, can stay within that shape. I won't go outside, no matter what. And then if you hold down your tool, you can actually pick the color that you want to go back to. So I pressed it down over that lighter shade, was able to get the exact match. Whoops, forgot to put the alpha lock on. And was able to use that light color to coordinate with the veins in the further back leaf there. So that's what I did, just going in, adding some veins, some texture. I find the more lines, the more dots, the more little bit of detail that you add to a drawing, the better it ends up looking. As you can tell, this is a super simple drawing, but I think it could be fun for who knows what. Here I'm just going in, adding a little bit of a detail to the bottom of the orange. You know how they have those little, I don't know what they're called, like butt ends. I don't know, like little rind, little, I forget. But here I am, just going to color that in with my technical pen. Fill it in, make it a little pointier. And then again, I'm going to go with a lighter shade and add some texture to that. Once that little accent mark is to my liking, I'm going to go down and merge my layers, which really creates a uniform picture, and I'm able to move, transform, do a bunch of different stuff to that picture. So I'm going to go up to the little tools bar in the top left hand, bar that says add, and it has actions on it. So we're going to add, and we're going to copy and paste that shape. So you can press copy, make sure you're selecting the right picture, and then you can press paste. And then depending on which layer is on top of the other, that image will show up on top. So here I'm trying to locate the imported image, trying to make it look kind of, like maybe it's on the same vine or it's cohesive in some way, but it wasn't really working, so I ended up switching the layers so that the imported one was actually behind the original, which I thought made it look a little bit better. And then eventually I figure out that the other side is where the orange really does look the best. And I try and tilt that a little bit, make a little distinction there. And another trick I like to do is the layer I have on the back, I like to go up again to that tools bar, to the actions, and I like to do hue and saturation, and then just drag that bar towards the black side to darken it up, kind of creating this depth to the image so that the orange in front looks like it's protruding while the other one's behind, like a shadow. And then again, I'm going to merge down so that I can move those oranges together. I'm going to try and center it, kind of, make it look more like it's the highlight, the focal point of the picture. And then I'm going to press add text again from that toolbar up in the left hand corner. Here I can pick my color for my text, and then I can go to edit style, highlighted in the blue there. Once I've typed out the word, obviously, and I want it to just say orange, you could have it say anything. And then here I'm going to mess around with size. I'm going to mess around with the spacing between the letterings by either hitting kerning or tracking. And then I can change the text font. I can make it either outlined like that with the O towards the right bottom side. So I liked how it was hollow. Now I just have to find a good font. And I think I ended up going with Georgia, but we'll see. One second, let's see. I think I played around a little bit. You can, see whatever font matches your vibe or aesthetic best. For me, I thought Georgia was fun, so I'm going to go back up to Georgia. I did regular, I changed the size up, and I did the outline so that the inside was hollow. And then once I'm done with that, I dragged it down because I wanted it. I thought maybe, over the oranges. No, it didn't work. So I'm going to put it under the oranges in that nice orange shade. And then I wanted to fill in the outline so that the outside of the text was darker than the inside filling. So as long as that text, whatever font you choose, is solid, you can drag and drop the color directly into that hollow area. If you pick a font that maybe doesn't have this capability, or in general you don't like the way it looks, it can be kind of tedious going back in and fixing all of it. I actually do switch up my technique for the last two letters to show you another option, which is to add another layer behind that text. So you add a layer behind that text, choose the color that you want, and then just be sure not to go outside of the darker outline and just fill that in. So it's kind of like coloring within the lines. I'll show you in a moment how I do that. So I drag and drop, you know, there's a couple little spots of white, so I go back in. Drag and drop, see that white there? So I go back in, add a layer, put it behind the original layer, and I'm just using the exact same color, and I'm just kind of drawing in the spaces. But it's behind the darker outline, so you can't even tell. So there's my text. I added my text, and now I want to add again that shading. So I'm gonna merge down the outline and the shaded color from the last few letters, and then I'm going to again copy and paste that. And then again, I want to go back to hue, saturation, and brightness and drag that little cursor towards the black end of the spectrum. And then the darker orange should be behind the lighter coloring so that it looks like a shadow again. Adds a little bit of depth, and then you can move that lighter one to show as much or as little, make it look how you want. I just like a little bit of an outline to show a little bit of depth, but not too crazy. Then I want to recenter that as best I can. Those blue line is pretty helpful. It's a little bit tricky to use. It's a little finicky, but you know, eyeball it. And then I thought a blue background would look really nice because again, blue and orange are complementary colors, and I just really like them together. So that's it. You could use this for a thank you card or pretty much anything. It's just a fun little illustration, and it shows you some of the basics of Procreate. Using the iPad Pro and the Apple Pencil, which is pretty important. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and keep a lookout for more videos. I'm planning to do more art related videos, maybe some lifestyle stuff. I want to get to know you guys as best I can, so stick around, subscribe, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.